Okay, we're going. Hi.
Hey! Hold on a sec. Hey guys. Do you know how to tell a game's gonna be good? From the Super Nintendo era? See that little Enix logo right there. Yo, listen up! This is the story of a blazer who lives in a soul world. So let's play some video games. So guys, I have a question. What? I'm gonna do number 4 slot. What should I name the slot? What should I name it?
The joke is that it's one of Spencer's personal friends, and no one will understand outside of her cloak of family.
No one's gonna get it, and that's okay, because it's actually pretty cool how it works. My followers, since you will be able to speak with all living things, you should have a name. Please choose a name for yourself. Hey! So this game is good and very interesting.
Matt is
different.
Fat Schaefer.
Aw, yeah. What? That's weird. Okay. Schaefer. What an interesting name. Alright, with 2 L's. Go and save the world for all creatures. Alright, let's just go save the world. So, this game, majority of the game is fighting these enemies that come out of these portals. They generally come out one at a time, although later they'll come out like much faster. And pretty much there's a specific number that comes out, and then when it's done, you get that portal, you step on it, and something happens. That's the majority of the game, but it gets a little more complicated in about 2 minutes. I used to live up in the sky just like you.
No, I took a nail to the knee.
Nice.
2011, am I right?
Death Toll's a bad guy. You must free everyone.
Hey, Ian, try him.
So he's saying that even the release of a small tree will help you in your quest, because sometimes when you let these release these people, it can be like something as big as like the village chief, or something as small as like a flower. And a lot of times the smaller things actually are pretty helpful, because you can talk to like flowers and goats and pretty much any living thing. So we're gonna work on this magic. Now this is the main hub right here. Essentially, each level has its own hub, and this is gonna take me to the main world of level 1. And whoop, as you can see in a second, there is literally nothing here. It is just empty, barren nothingness, because Death Toll, the main bad guy, has gone and went and trapped everyone in this other dimension, whatever, in these portals. So I hear a small voice, and that is the Rose talking to me. So essentially it's saying, again, if you can release these creatures, you'll see that the village is coming, together. And that's one of the really cool things about this game, where, like, each different monster lair that you let go, will let go a different thing, and you never know what's going to be important and what's not going to be important. So B, what I'm doing right now is just a standard sword swing. If you press R like this, I'll show you when I get over there. If you press R like this, it's essentially like, it takes less damage, but it's like, they can walk right into it kind of thing. You're going to see that a lot in bosses later. The only other real, like, major thing to mention is you see the player life bar, experience, all that good stuff. Whenever you step on one of those and the screen becomes black like this, it essentially means that you're releasing something. So I released an old woman, and we get to her house. Oh.
Would you say you're saving all life, or whatever it said?
All living things, I think? Yeah. So, if you press start, it'll show you the monster layers remaining in each screen, so there's 12 monster layers. Already, we have enemies that are a bit harder than the very first ones. These ones move around kind of oddly.
Hey, so what's that technology generating those waves? It looks pretty cool. Must be like a new thing.
This game has great graphics, and it has a lot of Mode 7.
Oh, I think you mean blast processing.
Oh yeah, this has a lot of blast processing.
This actually does kind of look like a Genesis game for some reason.
So medical herbs are really important. You have to equip each item, and this, if you die, your HP will be refilled. So it is like the most important weapon in the game. There are some enemies that you'll see that aren't part of these, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, portals or whatever. they are enemies that are like kind of just always there, such as these good old guys over here that I'm gonna try to fight.
You're dying.
Yep. So until you get your first level and you get a little bit stronger, it's not super easy. And then it doesn't get any easier. It's not a very easy game. The good thing is that if you die, the only thing you really lose is your gems. The gems on the upper right is essentially what you use to use magic. I'm gonna press Y right now, and that's the type of magic. It took 4 to use that magic, so you do have long-range spells, and you get different magic as you go along. So if you die, essentially you just lose your gems, and you have to redo whatever you were doing. So it's not like a huge thing. If I die, it's not like, oh, reset, you know, it's really not that bad. So the key with a lot of these, portals is to figure out a spot to stand that they will, like, just kind of come to you and walk into you and perish. So, like, this one, I think if I go, like, here, they'll walk straight up. No, if I go here... Sometimes it takes a little bit to find the spot where they'll just be like, oh, I'm completely safe. Like, right here, I'm completely safe. But sometimes you can make it look pretty funny because they'll just kind of walk past you and you'll be like, oh, you didn't even try. Great. So our first goal throughout this first level is just pretty much just release a bunch of different people. One very small thing is when you release people, you get 1 thing of life back, which doesn't sound like much, but it can really help you later. I'm gonna use that R attack just to show you how cool
Whoa!
Oh my god, you're not picking up all the coins and it's killing me.
What coins?
They're dropping coins, right?
Oh, they're like gems.
Oh,
Early in the game, because you only have this fire magic, the main downfall of this fire magic is you have to be facing the direction, and then this thing is also always going around you, kind of like an option in Gradius. So it's really hard to use. So if I'm like, I'll use it right now, you gotta like get it the timing like exact. Later you get some really, really nice ones, but by then I'll have died 100 times or, you know, whatever. Gems. You know, this game's like any RPG. You get a lot more experience later, and you get a lot of gems later as it goes on. Even by the second level, like right now you're getting like 1 or 2 experience each enemy. By the second level it's like 12 to 15, so...
By the way, speaking to a tulip.
Yes! We'll be doing that a lot. So if I go right here... Yeah, this is a good example of what I was talking about. So, one of the things that we always have to pay attention is, as you can tell, the enemies have, what is that called? Buffer time or whatever? Invincibility frames. So they have invincibility frames that you really got to pay attention to because it's a couple seconds. Aren't we all that bridge guard? So it's really important, especially for an enemy like this that like flies at you. Clearly, me being here is going to be perfectly fine, except for that thing shooting at me, thanks. But later, there's some pretty fast flying enemies that you're like, boy, I wish they didn't have these invincibility frames. It'd be kind of nice. Yay! Oh, you son of a gun. Yeah! And when you get level up, the Dream Rod is an item that you use a lot during the game, actually. It's completely necessary. There's a lot of not very necessary items, and then ones that are completely 100% necessary, like the Dream Rod. You use it to see into the dreams of sleeping people, and there's a lot of people in this world that just like to sleep. That's just their thing.
Epic.
They're just always napping, you know? I guess that's what happened when you're taken away by death toll. So far pretty good. Not dying
Wait,
yet.
is death toll like the enemy?
Yeah, death toll is the.
Why don't they just call him like death guy?
They should just call him bad dude at that point. You can see with that ivy, also sometimes you'll release living things that will like give you access to other parts. Obviously that ivy is pretty like obvious, where it's like, oh, ivy, what am I gonna do? And I'm gonna climb on it. But then sometimes you'll like
release a tulip
in later levels, like let somebody go, and it'll be like, oh, wow, with them came this bridge, just like that bridge guy. Now I'm able to go the right-hand side.
That AI freaking dodged you.
It's so good at dodging. It's
Oh wait,
just
does
amazing.
it? Okay, it just does it automatically.
I think when it throws it, it just like goes back. So if I remember correctly, when we're done with all of this, before we leave, I think there should only be one. Oh, by the way, this game's pretty obvious sometimes. A man's voice came from inside the watermill. Darn it, this stupid wheel. It's so hard to turn. Who should we visit? Who should we visit?
I have no idea.
So yeah, there's one monster lair remaining, and I'm pretty sure that that's at the very end, so we're doing good. We're gonna head back. We'll find this out a little bit later, but one of the annoying things about this game is that there are certain enemies that can't be killed, like, right away. You have to come back when you have a stronger thing, so you'll, like, see this certain enemy that, like, you just can't beat, and you have to remember it for later, like 3 levels later. My husband used to be the village chief. One day he suddenly disappeared along with the other villagers. I feel so lonely. How about being one of my children? Yes. I will call you Schaefer.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
thank you. That is my name. Oh, great. I will use that.
That's your new mom.
This is, by the way, the best tool shop in the history of the world.
See you, Mom.
Oh, you're the one who released me. Take whatever you need from my store. I only have medical herbs, though. Well, luckily you have the most helpful thing ever in history, so that's great. Also, get ready for this bridge guard. I am the guard of the bridge. I guess it is not really necessary to guard such a small bridge. Please pass.
My life has no meaning.
It goes past, guarding it instantly. The end. Whoa. Oh, move the elevator. Oh. What'll I do?
Why does he want to turn it in the first place?
Because I want to move that elevator. Power was transmitted to the underground castle. Thank you, based everything.
How are you still turning it?
So we're going to... I think I just had to, like, give it a start. So we're going to go down here.
That's how I climb on vines.
Just walk down.
Oh, yeah. Get some armor. And then usually if you talk to these fairies, they give you usually experience. Yeah, girl.
A lot of experience.
Yeah, compared to what I have so far, that was
80.
what was like 70 or 80. Yeah.
That looks so weird.
Now, one of the things that you always have to remember to do is to equip the stuff. So now,
He just steps out of the way.
I guess it's really not necessary to.
He's not even trying anymore.
I guess my job is completely unnecessary. Well, I didn't say it. You said it, bro. Oh, and this is called the crab walk. Because you can kind of walk like a crab while doing it. It's actually very helpful later in the game. In fact, one of the guys, if I talk to him, will be like, "Did you learn how to crab walk yet, boy?" And you're like, "Yeah, here." So clearly you can see from any speedrun perspective, just using that crab walk thing constantly is the thing to do. You like that? You like that?
It's okay, I guess.
And with this, part 1 of this is all done. In fact, that's the guy. You see him and you're like, oh man, if you see him, it's gonna be. You talk to him, it's gonna be real important. He's like, did you try pressing R? Did you try doing it? Cause you should. And you're like, great, thank you. But I guess this game really has like kind of a steep learning curve because it doesn't really tell you much, and suddenly you're just doing it. Hey, we're getting some more. I think we're getting to the point where we're starting to release some pretty important people, such as this goat. Look at that goat. There's this whole, like, love story with the goat going on. I don't wish I was lying, because it's just too good. Ah, dang it. Oh, cool. I like these grunts. They don't...
They seem pretty smart.
I like your sort of dimensional powers, because it can just go through anything.
Oh, yeah, baby. That's the way to do it.
The sword of clipping.
You hear some light snoring. Somebody's sleeping.
I don't think that matters at all.
I wish that was me forever.
You sleep.
You know, I was kind of dumb earlier with what I did. Essentially, if you don't finish off, if you, like, half finish off but don't completely finish off one of these, portals, it comes back. So I was pretty much to the point where I was done with the portal, but I forgot to finish the last enemy. Also, the enemies that don't come out of the portals, when you step on one of the portals, they come back, which is something that you always have to kind of keep in mind, especially the later levels when all enemies are hard, which is just great. You like
I remember
that?
this game at the very end. It has kind of poor level progression. So like at the very end, you have to grind a lot
You do,
because you have to equip like a sword that is the only sword that actually damages the final boss.
And when we get to it, the final boss is like absolutely, at least I guess in my world, notoriously difficult. And that's the thing. You'll see a boss in probably the next 10 or 15 minutes. Bosses in this game are like really, really hard. And almost everyone is pretty much, the philosophy is kill it before it kills you. And that just, that's hard. There's like, it's really like you just walk in and it's like, take more damage to it before it kills you. It's not like, oh, dodge this attack. It's like, no. So that's not, just makes it hard. And then when you figure out how to beat him, usually you're just like, oh, that's how I do it. But the first boss, I died like 10 times until I looked it up and was like, oh, that's how I do it? I felt super silly because it was the first boss and I was like mowing through the game. But that's just how this game does it with bosses. One of the things I didn't mention in terms of like Enix and this game, it's part of a trilogy that I'm not sure if the games actually have like anything to do with each other, or just the simple fact that Enix made 3 good action RPGs and then people called it a trilogy. This is the first one in the series. The second one is a game that came out in America called Illusion of Gaia, and Trevor at some point would like to do that game.
Yeah, I want to do Illusion of Gaia, and then the third game is Terranigma, which is like my... Man, I want to say it's my favorite RPG on the system, but like...
It's tough. There's so many good ones.
It's definitely top 3.
The terrible thing about the story of Terranigma is it never came out in America for some reason. It was PAL and I guess Japanese as well, but it came out in Europe, but it never came out in America. And it's just a shame because go watch videos of it. Terranigma. It's like the graphics are like phenomenal. They're like better than Mario RPG. They're so good.
They remind me of Chrono Trigger, but like even more like detailed.
Yep. It's just so good. I had one on at the store in the background the other day, and I turned around and their world map has like 3D effects going on. It's just really cool. And it's just one of those that I'm just like, oh, that was worth releasing that goat, huh, Ian?
Yeah.
It's just one of those games that you're like, man, why was this not released in America? Like, why were they like, no.
Wait, okay. This is like, I mean, I don't know how many games that Enix made use these sound effects, but
ActRaiser.
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah.
It's
sounds exactly like.
It's the same exact, like when you get hurt, it's the same exact voice.
It reminds me of both that and Castlevania, but it's probably more ActRaiser.
Like, it's not even dissimilar, it's the exact same voice clip.
Yeah, the oddest thing about the sound in this game is that sound effect for getting... That sound effect for getting hurt doesn't fit with how the character looks.
Yeah, it should
like,
be like, ah!
Or maybe just like, maybe not nothing, but it just sounds like a big, like, Simon Belmont in Castlevania 4. Is that Simon in Castlevania 4?
I mean, in ActRaiser makes sense because you literally control, like, this super buff god. But, like, in this game, it's just like, oh, just a blue-haired anime guy.
Yeah.
And also the UI is, well, I mean, it's barely a UI, but it's ActRaiser.
Yeah. And I think Illusion of Gaia has, like, a lot of similarness in terms of, like, stuff like that. But then Terranigma is, like, completely different.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, Ian. From the second I started playing this game again, I was like, man, that sound effect is just a little off. Just a little strange. Dang it, what the heck? All of a sudden it changes how it goes. Those blue crystals, they always give you the opportunity to go back to the main world. So if you're like in a pinch, I guess you could use it as like a...
You could be
screaming. A ghost. Yeah, you could be a coward and just go back to the thing, but we don't need to do that, because that's pleb tier. Oh, thank you. Ah, thank you for the foreshadowing. Great. Oh, and no freaking experience. Get out of here.
That's the cost of one more box of dialogue.
But yeah, that's. I like to be a completionist on this game, especially since it'll tell you monster layers remaining, blah blah blah. It tells you exactly how many. So that's like great. But then it'll be like one remaining. You'll see it in a little bit at the next mini part. There are many enemies that you just can't kill, and you're like, oh, I'd like to kill these enemies and get whatever it is. But I guess it gives you a reason to backtrack. So at this point, we're pretty much to the point where if you just looked around, you would be like, what do I do? One of those great RPG moments. But there's a lot of people that we let go, and we're gonna go see them. We're gonna see what's up. Gonna go see that little boy in the tool shop. See what his wares are. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time, Ian.
A tool shop where they only sell herbs is my favorite.
Only sell medical herbs.
And I
Luckily they are like extremely helpful.
I am the clouds traveling at 1 million miles per hour.
I was hoping she would just give me one that I could use.
I am helping my mother.
Would I like to buy some goat's food?
Nice.
Yeah.
This is my tool shop. I own this one.
What?
Nice.
Okay.
Plus tip.
Daddy! oh, cool.
I
Bag
didn't know. I imagine it's just
Bag
him.
of goat's
It's
food.
just him yelling, Daddy.
Teddy! Okay. Teddy! Okay. So we go to this goat. You have some food from the tool shop. I promise to tell you a secret if you will give me the food. I will tell you a secret. If you wish to get inside the painting, you must equip an item to the painter. Oh.
If you wish to get inside
I have
the painting.
other things to attend to. That was a little secret.
Oh,
that I
okay,
knew.
bye, goat.
Bye.
He gone.
Well, you fed
So-
him, so now he can leave.
He has other things to attend to. Ian, you're just gonna have to get used to it. The next level is a lot of that. So.
You just whack her on the head.
Yeah.
I mean, the dream now.
Oh, so
Wow,
this.
this looks oddly like.
So
the world
when you go into the people's dreams, generally you find something that opens up something in the real world there.
Even
I
though
know
it's-
that I
it's not
dream
true.
about specific things to help other people.
Daddy, is that you? Oh, there was no answer.
That was the
Tragic.
deepest thing.
This
Who
lore.
are you? Why am I here?
This
That's me.
lore.
Hi.
By the way, this is me.
Get out of my house. Oh my god,
see
I
it?
got it.
I'm sorry for yelling at you.
Please come back and listen
No.
to my story.
Oh. What a dream. The brush is all I have left from my
you know,
father. I hid it somewhere.
When you were in that dream, I didn't see any of that happen.
When you come back to me with that brush that I hid somewhere.
But yeah, just let the goat go through.
See ya, buddy.
You're a great guard.
That goat just continues to chill for the rest of the
Yeah,
time.
the guard just like, sup, goat.
Oh, I thought this was important. Dude, everyone. Okay,
Equip
great.
the stick when you
Great.
wish to
Look at that water. Look at that water, the bottom part.
It's like
Look
you're
at
really
it.
there at a waterfall.
It's like you're there at the waterfall
I can feel the mist.
with the tulips. Listen, this game's got good graphics, and it uses mode 7, and there's not a dang thing you can say about it, Ian. Literally, there's not a dang thing you can say about it. I dare you to say
I
something
can
about it.
say it uses mode 7. It does. I'm just saying I can.
You see them strats?
Wow, that was really amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. It's not a big deal at all. Yeah, what's that down there? Oh, this is open now. What's this? Guess what it is.
Well, I would guess that it was Leo's brush.
I thought you had to press B in front of it, but all you have to.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Whoa! Gibbs. What does this unlock anyway? So now in the underground, we got everyone. Ah, this old man. Donk. Great. So we have the paintbrush, and we had to backtrack, so now we gotta go back and talk to Get Out of My House, Lisa. But we have everything in this underground part, and that's great. And it's gonna be the only part for a very long time that we are able to get everything out of, because thanks, unkillable enemies. and that's cool. That's cool, Ian.
You know what I like about
What?
this game?
What?
I like that you chose to give a goat who said he would tell you a secret food.
Ah, yeah.
That's cool.
Do you want me to go get more goat food?
I think you should go get more.
And then the goat just pieced out for no reason.
Yeah, he's just
I have other things to attend to. I don't know if you can get goat food again.
I am helping my mother.
Oh, wow, we can.
I am also schizophrenic.
Yeah. Plus tip.
Again with this.
Well, it's like the woman. Every time you go and talk to her, she's like, "Oh, you're the one who saved me." Yep. I've been here like 5 times to get 5 herbs.
Maybe
Oh, you're the one who saved
both
me.
have really short-term memory.
I will now tell you what I know. Okay.
I'm just imagining that she's saying all this since there's no like.
Turbo the dog, Lou the dolphin, Gnome the snail, and Marie the doll.
Life,
Now,
being,
why?
everything, the
That's
dolphin.
so specific.
I like thinking she's like.
I know you're a complete stranger, but will you please search for my father? I'm just gonna chill in bed. Well, lady,
My name is Gowdy.
I built all the houses in this town.
You didn't.
Okay.
You just showed up.
This guy's my favorite. Oh, by the way, the old man looks exactly the same as these guys here. It's terrifying. That don't look like no... That don't look like no face.
That's sad. I'm sad.
Whoa! What is this? Super Mario 64?
Why did you steal my joke? It was my joke.
What other games do you go into paintings?
None.
There are 0 games.
Well,
What
this...
is this?
Wait. This game
Canvas
did
Earth?
do it before Mario 64, TBQH. By the way, riveting.
No.
Riveting. Riveting gameplay. Great. Another? You son of a gun. Now I'm gonna get hit.
Hey, you're kind of low in health.
I got that metal core. I'll be fine. What? Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
Let's just reach that.
I guess they're trapped in the painting with the things.
I wrote this music, by the way.
Thanks. Thanks for you.
Son of a freaking gun.
Why are you getting hurt?
Can you please calm your language?
When did I ever say that?
I think you always say you're a pro at video games. Look at this is a speedrun actually.
Maybe I'll just do this. Yeah.
And then when I lightly hold up swords, they just die.
Yeah, isn't that what happens?
Yeah.
Hello.
Don't stab them, just walk towards them very slowly.
I think this spot should be okay. Yeah, cool. Dude, by the way, you want fast-moving clouds? Everyone just stare at... Don't look at what I'm doing, just stare at the background.
I'm also looking at Sideways Rome.
This actually kind of, well, I guess technically this came first, but it reminds me of
Super Mario 64.
No, it doesn't remind me of Super Mario 64.
Plays a SNES RPG. Wow, Super Mario 64. I mean, come on.
No, it reminds me of an Minish Cap, the Sky Palace.
I never played that one. I'm sorry, Ian.
Who plays Neo Zelda?
Sorry, Ian.
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Oh.
Actually, I never finished Minish Cap, but it was pretty fun.
A lonely.
It reminded me of actually the first Zelda, but good. Like the way that it's designed.
Dang it.
You're doing it.
Yep.
You're just coming. It's like, wait, no, I'm back.
I wanted to see how long I could break that one. Thanks.
That